Well, he was quite comical to watch, to be quite honest. He used to trip over his own feet. We weren't quite sure exactly where he'd end up with his footy career, but we enjoyed watching his junior days at East Sandy. And he played mostly as almost a ruckman in the early days of his footy.
You've come a long way from the days when we were both back at Sacred Heart, and then on to the East Sandy Zebras, then on to school footy, under 18s. I've taught you a lot along the way, and there's been nothing more proud of to follow your career. The night you won your Brownlow, I knew a large part of that was due to my mentoring over the years.
Horrible dresser, that's one thing I will say. He's probably the worst dressed man I've ever seen in footy.
I remember when he first started, he couldn't do a lap of the oval without almost passing out.
Well, how did you feel? You were pretty cool leading up to it all. How did you feel when you ran out?
Yeah, no, I was pretty nervous, but I guess now that they're giving me the ball, I'll be able to get a touch on it, so that'll be all right.
As a fellow guy with very big quads, I certainly can understand how hard that is getting around the field.
Came as this baby fat, puppy fat player who was a half-forward flanker. Skills need a bit of work, but one thing you did see, he's probably one of the cleanest with his hands around the stoppages that I'd seen. Remember, he kept doing hamstrings, calves, quads, just because he wasn't fit enough.
There was a point probably 3 or 4 years into his career where I think he decided he wanted to be a terrific AFL player and took it upon himself and trained his backside off, went to a boxing coach, did some work with Greg Williams and found a way to be an elite player.
And I think that gave him an enormous amount of confidence that not only was he able to survive that training, which was really tough, but when he got back to training and everyone else came back to training, he was actually fitter than he'd ever been before, and he was sort of, wasn't right up the back of the training groups, and I think that was really the springboard for his real development.
Jobe's a great example of a terrific Essendon person who has, he's obviously got talent, but it's his heart and his head that have willed himself to get there and been an excellent captain for the Essendon Football Club.
A fantastic player, terrific leader. Obviously, on the field, he's been able to do a lot of special things, win the Brownlow medal, and produce some match-winning performances. But I think more recently, in the tumultuous time that Essendon have had, and given all things that have been labelled at the club, Jobe's steadfast leadership and his ability to still perform on the field, as well as hold everything together off the field's first class.
I don't know that you really know about that strength and resilience and the leadership until that's thrust upon you, and you have to sort of navigate your way through those things. So I think that he's always sort of been a very steady person. He's always thought really deeply, not only about his footy, but about his family and about his friends and that type of thing too. So he's got that caring sort of aspect to his personality, and I think that's served him well throughout the last couple of years.
He has the ability to bring Fletcher as a 40-year-old and maybe the youngest, Jaden Laverty, who's a 17-year-old, and bring them together as one. I think what he has done in the last 2 years, it's taken a lot out of him, but he's been remarkable. I think he's been the glue that's kept the Essendon Football Club together. And on field, when Jobe Watson talks, you want to listen to him. He's been an inspirational captain.
It's a great thing when somebody in a family is an AFL player, because not only does it give a lot of enjoyment to his immediate family, but for the extended family and for his grandparents and his aunts and uncles and friends and other people. So it's a journey that everybody sort of embarks upon, and it's sort of has its highs and has its lows, but it's a great thing to be associated with somebody's career that you know well.
What a career he's had to date. It's been a remarkable 200 games, and he's probably been one of the more influential players that Essendon's seen probably in their last 30 years.
You've been an outstanding player for the Essendon Football Club and a fantastic leader, a real champion of the game. Well done.